Hello everyone. So the next topic which we are going to discuss is approach for dividend models. So this is the third and final approach which we are going to study. So here approach is the most important one. So according to approach of dividend policy, a firm is irrelevant as it does not affect the wealth of the shareholder. So this approach says that whether the company is distributing profits or not, the wealth of the shareholders will remain same. So it doesn't matter whether the firm is distributing profits or not, the overall value of the firm will always remain same. So they argue that the value of the firm depends upon the firm's earning, which result from its investment policy. So here they says that the value of the firm does not depend on whether the company is paying dividend or not. So it depends solely on whether the company is earning good or not. In the previous two models, we have discussed that the value of the firm gets affected if the company is paying dividends or not. So investors have a sense of risk when company doesn't pay dividend to them. So the overall value of the firm may get affected. But this model says that the value of the firm will never get affected because the value of the firm solely depends on the earning of the firm. Moving forward, when investment decision of the firm is given, dividend decision the split of earnings between dividends and retained earning is of no significance in determining the value of the firm. So here we have certain assumptions for this model. So the first assumption says that the firm operates in a perfect capital market. Taxes do not exist. The firm has a fixed investment policy that whether they're going to distribute or not, or probably what would be the income, the investment which a firm requires. The firm has a fixed investment policy. Then next one is risk of uncertainty does not exist. So investors are not risk averse, so that is the investors are able to forecast future prices. So because investors can perfectly forecast future prices, so there is no sense of risk among the shareholders, and the dividend will certainly, so they will be able to forecast future prices and dividend of the company accurately. So there is one discount rate which is always given. So for example, the company may have a certain risk, for example 12% risk, right? So the cost of equity should at least be 12%, right? So the risk of the investors and cost of equity of the firm should be equal. So if it is not equal, it means company is not able to give them the minimum they want from the company. So always remember that the risk of the investors, the risk class of the investors, and the cost of equity of the firm will always remain equal. At least 12% the company will give to the shareholders. Now moving forward, um, here the formula is to calculate current price of the share P naught. What does the company need? So to calculate current price of the share, what do I need to know? That what would be the dividend given by the firm in this year, D1. So it will be discounted here with the cost of capital. So 1 plus the cost of capital, 1 plus KE. So we can use this formula. But here the firm does not only focus upon the dividend which is going to be received by the shareholders, but the model also focuses upon the capital appreciation. That after the end of first year, the shareholders will get two things: first, the dividends, and second, the capital appreciation. So here D1 plus P1, the price of the share at the end of the year. So what do we need to do to calculate the current price of the share? We need two things: the dividend which is to be earned by the shareholders in this year, and the price of the share at the end of the year, divided by 1 plus K. Will discount it with the required cost of capital. So for example, if we are not given with the future price, so we can derive another formula from here only. So P1 P naught into 1 plus KE, I'm cross multiplying it, minus D1 is P1. So here we have two formulas to calculate P naught and P1, right? Now we'll continue with the question. So here we have the question. The price of the share today is rupees 100, and the value of the shares in market is rupees 10 lakh, and the price of the share is rupees 100. So with this information we can calculate number of shares. So here the number of shares is 10,000. 10 lakh divided by rupees 100. So the number of shares is 10,000. Moving forward, so the dividend which the company is going to pay in this year is rupees 10. Moving forward, the risk of the investors is 12%. So we can say that KE will also remain 12%. So here we have two situations, that whether the company will pay dividend or not pay dividend. So now we can continue our question in two cases: when the company will pay dividend, and the second case is when the company will not pay dividend. And here you can see that we have this formula. So we have the current market price. What we have to calculate is P1, the price at the end of the year. So here we have two situations: when the company will pay dividend and the company will not pay dividend. Pay and not pay, does not pay. So in the first case, the dividend is in both the cases dividend is 10. So the formula which we are going to apply is P1 equals to, the formula was P naught. So P naught is rupees 100 today into 1 plus KE. So 1 plus KE here is 0.12 in minus dividend for the year. So the dividend is rupees 10. So when we will calculate this, this is 100 into 1.12 minus 10. So here it is minus 10. So it will come 102. And in the second case, when the company is not paying any dividend, so again we'll apply the same formula: 100 into 1 plus 0.12 minus 0, because the company is not paying anything. So here 100 into 1.12, so it will come 112. So as you have seen in the question, that when the company is paying dividend of rupees 10, the market price is 102, and when the company is not paying dividend of rupees 10, the market price is exactly up by the same price, that is 112. Now we have to see the impact of dividend payout on the value of the firm. So here we have two prices. When dividend is paid, the price is 102, and when the dividend is not paid, the price is 112. Now moving forward, here we have to verify the impact of dividend paid or not paid on the value of the firm. So for this, we are going to follow a procedure. Let's see. how we are going to calculate the value of the firm. So what we are doing here is verification of the dividend paid on the value of the firm. So again, we have two situations. So here we have two cases again. In first case, dividend paid, and in second case, dividend not paid. So, say for example, the dividend paid, the profit earned in the current year is 5 lakh. So even if the company has paid dividend or not paid dividend, the profit will remain same. Then next is number of shares. So the number of shares will also remain same in any case that we have calculated earlier. It was 10,000. Then moving forward. So in the first case, when the dividend was paid, so um, dividend paid. In first case, dividend was paid. So 10,000 into 10, the dividend of rupees 1 lakh is paid. And in second case, there is no dividend paid, so nothing there. Then balance for reinvestment. Here, after paying 1 lakh dividend, the balance left is 4 lakh. And here, dividend is not paid, so the balance will remain same, 5 lakh. Then moving forward, for example, the company wants to invest in a new business opportunity. So the cost of new project is 10 lakh. In both the cases. Then as we already have certain amount with us, as in first case you can see the amount is 4 lakh, in second case the amount is 5 lakh. So the amount which we have to raise from the market is will be the remaining amount, new shares to be issued. So here 10 lakh minus 4 lakh, so it is 6 lakh. And in second case 10 lakh minus 5 lakh, it is 5 lakh. Then now the price of shares in both the cases, as in first case when the dividend is paid, the price is 102 as we have calculated, and in second case the price will be 112. So this will be the price. Now we have to calculate how many number of shares we have to issue. So number of shares to be issued, here 10 lakh, sorry 10 lakh, 6 lakh, because this is the remaining amount. 6 lakh divided by 102. So the number of shares which we have to issue is 588 1 yes 5882.35. And in second case it is 5 lakh divided by 112. So this is 4464.28. Now we have already issued 10,000 shares in the market. So now the value of the firm will be the new total number of shares in the market total number of shares in the market will be 10,000, which we have already issued, and the new number of shares. So 10,000 plus 5882.35. So it will be 15,882.35. And here it is 10,000 plus 4464.28. So here it is 14,464.35. So these are the number of shares already in the market, now in the market. Now we have to calculate the value of the shares, value of the firm, we can say. Value of the firm. So how we can calculate it? So 15,882 multiplied by 102, the market price of the share. So it is coming approximately 16,20,000 shares. And in second case also 14,464 multiplied by 112. So again it is coming 16,20,000, which is same. So here we can see that whether the company has paid the dividend or not, the overall value of the firm will remain same as per MM approach. Thank you very much.